Hello everybody, it's Emma here. This is the first in a series of 24 lessons designed to help GCSE English language students excel across all UK exam boards. So today's lesson is all about understanding the different question types in the GCSE English language exam. By the end of the lesson, you'll know how the marks are awarded based on the mark schemes and be able to identify key features of high-level answers. But why does understanding the exam matter? Basically, you need to know that English language exams test reading and writing skills, and the questions assess comprehension, analysis, evaluation, and writing. So the goal of this first session is for you to understand what examiners are looking for to maximise your marks. Did you know a strong understanding of the mark scheme can improve your answers significantly? So I just wanted to give you an overview of the different types of questions that you will get in the GCSE English language exam. You will get inference questions. Inference questions basically mean, what does this suggest? You'll get language analysis questions where you've got to consider, how is this language used? You'll get evaluation questions, to what extent do you agree? And you'll get comparison questions where you've got to consider, how are these texts similar or different? Moving on to writing, you will be given creative writing tasks and transactional writing tasks. Transactional writing tasks are things like letters, speeches, blogs, reports, etc. So breaking down the reading section. To do well on an inference question, you need to look for clues in the text that reveal meaning and focus on both explicit, things that are blatantly stated, and implicit ideas, reading between the lines. Language analysis questions. To do well on this, you need to analyse specific words, phrases, and techniques and explain how these create effects for the reader. It's not enough to just feature spot, you need to explain the effect on the reader. Evaluation questions. These form an opinion about a statement, and you need to make sure that you support your opinion with evidence from the text. So, how do mark schemes work? Basically, in a nutshell, you have 3 different levels of responses. Low-level responses, which give basic ideas and weak textual references. Mid-level responses give a clear understanding, some analysis and evidence. And then top-level responses, which are perceptive, detailed analysis with well-chosen evidence. Okay, so here is an example question. How does the writer use language to create atmosphere? So if you got this question, you would get marks awarded for identifying techniques like imagery, word choice, explaining the effects on the reader, using well-selected quotes, and writing fluently and clearly. Here's an extract. The rain lashed against the windows, a relentless drumbeat on the glass. Outside, the streetlights flickered feebly, their glow swallowed by the encroaching darkness. The air inside the room felt heavy, as if the shadows themselves had weight, pressing down on the lone occupant. Now here's an example answer. The writer uses vivid imagery and personification to create a tense and oppressive atmosphere. For example, the phrase, the rain lashed against the windows, personifies the rain, making it seem aggressive and unrelenting, which mirrors the hostility of the external environment. The description of the streetlights as flickered feebly uses alliteration to emphasize weakness, creating a sense of vulnerability and unease. Additionally, the phrase, the shadows themselves had weight, conveys a stifling atmosphere, suggesting the lone occupant feels trapped and overwhelmed. These techniques work together to immerse the reader in the dark, oppressive mood of the scene. So, what mark did this get? This mark was this Answer was awarded 7 out of 8. Why it's strong. The response identifies multiple techniques: imagery, personification, and alliteration. Each technique is explained clearly, showing its impact on the reader and linking it to the atmosphere. The examples are well selected and concise, avoiding repetition. So, what makes a high-level answer? Which ultimately is what you want. You want to get the best possible marks, the most possible marks. Okay. 4 things. Firstly, insight, original and perceptive ideas. Clarity, well-organised and precise writing. Evidence, well-chosen, relevant quotations. And depth, explaining the impact of techniques in detail. So, over to you now. I'd like you to have a go at this practice task. We're going to read the extract, and then I would like you to consider the answer to this question. What impressions does the writer create about the setting? So please write that down. So your task is to identify explicit, blatant, and implicit, not so blatant meanings, and then write a short response, maybe 3 to 4 sentences, explaining your ideas. Here is the extract. The city never slept, but tonight it felt restless. Neon lights flickered erratically, casting jagged reflections on the rain-slicked streets. A siren wailed in the distance, fading into the hum of engines and hurried footsteps. In the shadows of an alley, a stray cat darted past overturned bins, its eyes glinting like shards of broken glass. Feel free to pause the video at any point to get down the information that you need. So, what did you learn about question types and mark schemes today? Please let me know on the Facebook group. Your homework, should you choose to do it, is to now write a brief response to that question and share it in the Facebook group so I can mark it. Thank you so much for watching this first video.